What's up everyone, Andrew Baena here, and on today's video what I want to do is show you 4 very simple 8-string guitar riffs that you can learn right now. For all 4 of these riffs, we are going to be using an 8-string guitar tuned to drop E. So if you just got an 8-string guitar, the only thing you need to do is take that low string, which is normally tuned to an F sharp, and take it down 2 steps to E. So your tuning would be E, B, E, A, D, G, B, E. Although to be honest with you, we're probably only really using the bottom 4 strings, but I digress. And for these 4 riffs, all of them are from my band Carcosa. We just released a tab book in collaboration with Sheet Happens. If you've never heard of Sheet Happens before, they have officially licensed tabs from a bunch of bands, so definitely go check out their website. It's going to be linked in the description and the pinned comment below. And if you want to get yourself a tab book of these riffs and the whole anthology album from my band Carcosa, that is now available. You can get it either in a physical book or guitar profiles and follow along with this video. But even if you choose not to get the tab book, don't worry, I'm still going to teach you 4 of the riffs from that book in this video right now. So like I mentioned, we are in drop E tuning. And the first riff we are going to learn is only using that bottom string, because if you're like me, the first thing you do when you get a new guitar is you just want to play around on that lowest string. So the first riff is from a song called Our Scars. It only uses the low E string and it only uses 3 notes. What I want you to focus on for this riff is making sure that you are using very, very hard hammer-ons. If you don't know what a hammer-on is, it basically means you pick and you hammer on a note. So you notice I'm only picking once, but you're hearing 2 notes because this finger is hammering on the first fret. So that is the main technique you want to be focusing on with this riff. I'm going to show you what it sounds like fully up to speed with the song in the background, and then we're going to break it down after that. Now that you've heard the riff, this is how you play it. So like I said, very simple. You're only using 3 notes, the open 0, the 1, and the 3, all on the low string. Now for the first repetition of the riff, what you're going to be doing is you're only actually picking on the open 0 and all other frets are hammer-ons. So once again, it sounds like this. So again, with that exercise, just make sure you're focusing on getting those nice clean hammer-ons. For the next section of the riff, it's the same thing, except you're adding in a couple of more accent notes, and it sounds like this. Same exact pattern. Again, you're just adding in an extra 1 once in a while and adding some accented parts where you're not palm muting. Very simple. Okay, the next riff is a section from our song titled Hypnos. Again, the riff sounds like this in context. So again, very simple, but with this riff, what I want you to focus on is moving your pinky around. I thought this was a good exercise for those of you who just got an 8-string guitar because the scale length is going to be longer. So the riff sounds like this. So again, with this riff, the main thing you want to be focusing on is moving around your pinky to where it needs to be. Your bottom 3 strings are pretty much always going to be the same power chord, other than this one section, which has that dissonant feel to it. Nice and simple. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, the next riff is the intro from our song titled Devoid. Once again, here is how it sounds in context. Okay, so for this riff, once again, we're using a chord shape that's similar to the one we were just using in Hypnose, where you're adding in that extra note on your pinky on the 4th string. It just helps make it sound much more menacing. The only other extra flourish you really have to look out for in this riff is the slide on the 3rd to 4th fret. And then of course it goes up to that higher power chord at the end there. And then same thing when the riff comes back around, but we are adding it in. So that will sound like this. And of course the extra flourish is just chugging some low tuned power chords. So both sections combined sound like this. Okay, final riff of the video. This is by far the weirdest one. You're only using 2 strings, but the thing that makes this tricky is that you are ignoring your B string, so it's a lot of string skipping going on. This riff is from our song titled Absent Post, and it sounds like this. So to play the riff, you're going to do something like this. So it's a very weird riff. You're always going to be skipping that B string, and it's very easy to get your fingers caught up in a strange position because it's like the opposite of how most chords are, where you'd be like, kind of like how the other chords we were using in the previous 2 riffs are, whereas this is the other way, so you're using a 13 on the low fret, but a 12 on the middle E. So it's a bit of a weird one to get used to because you're leading with your middle finger. And then you're adding in the pinky for that last little bit there. This one is a really good exercise in string skipping, and it's also a good exercise in accuracy of, fret placement. It's very easy to accidentally overslide that part when you're sliding from a 15, 11, 12. But it's so fast, it's so easy to accidentally go to the 13 or too low to the 10 or something like that. So it's a good exercise on making sure when you're sliding to the correct places. And likewise, when you're using your pinky to only slide 1 fret up and down, very easy to mess that up as well. See, just did it there. Okay, that's gonna do it for this video. I know I don't usually do tutorial type videos on this channel. Let me know in the comments if you like this kind of thing. I could definitely do more of it. And again, a massive thank you to Sheet Happens. We are very proud of this tab book, and if you want to get all of these tabs in a physical tab book like this, or digital guitar profiles or PDF files, you can find all of that over on Sheet Happens website, which is going to be linked in the description and the pinned comment below. That's pretty much all I have to say for this video. Last but not least, I want to give a massive thank you to all my Patreon members whose names are on the screen at this point in time. For most of my videos, if you want audio downloads, stems, or a shout out on the screen, you can find all of those over on my Patreon page. This video doesn't really apply for those perks, but you get my point. Thank you for watching. I look forward to reading your comments, and I'll see you soon.